Good day, everyone. Our topic for the week is square root of a number. Learning competencies at the end of the week, you should describe the principal roots and tell whether they are rational or irrational. Determines what two integers the square root of number is. Now, tickle your mind, what is 8 squared? If your answer is 64, then you are correct. Remember, when we square 8, we multiply 8 by itself. Or when we square a number, we multiply the number by itself. Okay, so that is 64. So 9 squared is 81. Now, try to answer this 1 to 5. You may pause the video. Say you have the answer in 1 to 5. So what is your answer in number 1? If your answer is 9, then you are correct. Okay, what about number 2? Square of negative 3. If your answer is 9, then you are correct. Remember, when we square a number, we multiply the number by itself. So negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. So remember, when we square a negative number, the answer is positive. Okay? As we multiply negative times negative, positive. Okay? So, say we have negative 8 square, that is positive 64. Okay? Now, let us have number 3. What is number 3? Square of 4 pips. Square of 4 pips. That means 4 pips times 4 pips. Okay? So that is 4 fifths times itself. So just like our discussion in multiplying fraction, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, then simplify if possible. So in this case, this is our final answer. Now, for the next problem, we have 0.6. Square of 0.6. 0.6 is 0.6 times 0.6. Okay? So, ganito ang technique dyan. So, alisin nyo muna yung decimal point. That is 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Tapos, balik ninyo. Bakit natin ibabalik? Para malaman natin yung decimal point sa natin nilalagay. Okay, so bilangin nyo lang yung digit after decimal point. 1, 1. So, 1, 2. Okay, total of 2 movement ng decimal point. From right to left. 1, 2. So, from here, nandito na siya. Decimal point natin. Pag napunta siya sa pinakauna, you write 0. Okay, so the answer is 0.36. So, ganun lang. For our last problem, we have 0.07. And then we have square of negative. What's the square of negative? Correct, that is positive. So, wala na tayo problema sa sign. Ano? Okay, so that means 0.07 times 0.07. Okay, so sige muna yung decimal, that is 7 times 7, that is 49. Then bilangin ninyo, punta ulit kayo dito, bilangin ninyo yung digit after decimal point, 1, 2, 3, 4. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Add 0. So the answer is 0.0049. So, ganun lang yan. Bibilangin nyo lang yung digit after the decimal point. 1, 2. Times 2 nyo lang kasi ano yan eh. Times itself eh. 1, 2. Times 2 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, ganun lang. Okay. Now, let's continue. Next slide. Okay, so we have here the solution set. For number 1 and 2, remember in a set, do not write the same element more than once. So, minsan lang. Kaya ito yung answer sa 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, the set of solutions. Okay? The square of a number is a perfect square. Therefore, these are perfect square. 9, 16 over 25, 0.36, 0.0049 are perfect squares. Ano pa yung mga perfect squares? Yung mga integers. For example, 1, 4, 9, 16. Okay? So, discuss natin to. The square of a number is perfect square. So, what is the number whose square is 64? 8. Okay. What is the number whose square is 144? 12. 196. Ano yung number? Yung square natin. Okay. So that is 14. 14 square is 196. So we have here the list of first 15 perfect square. Okay. The first perfect square is 1. Because 1 times 1 is 1. So 1 is a perfect square. Again, the square of a number is a perfect square, or when we square a number, the result is the number that is a perfect square. Okay, let's now identify the following numbers as perfect square or not. Number 1. Okay, you may again pause the video. Give yourself time to answer 1 to 5. Okay, say you have now the answer in 1 to 5. Number 1. Can you think of a number whose square is 16? If you can think of a number whose square is 16, then 16 is a perfect square. Okay, correct. The answer is the number whose square is 16 is 4. So 4 square is 16. So therefore, 16 is a perfect square. Okay, what about 15? Is there a number whose square is 15? So, list nga uli natin yung mga perfect square. We have 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, yung 1 to 10 muna, 49, 64, 81, 100. Okay. First 10 perfect squares. Okay. These are the first 10 perfect squares. So, wala dito si 15. Therefore, 15 is not perfect square. Okay, so what about 146? 146. So let's continue this. 11 square is 121. 12 square is 144. Then 30 square is 169, 196. Then we have 625. Okay, 15 times 15 is 225. Okay. Okay, now 146, 144, 169, 146 is not a perfect square. Not perfect square. Okay, the nearest perfect square to 146 is 144. So 146 is not a perfect square. So what about 256? Is 256 a perfect square? Yes. So 16 square is 256. Okay. Now 400. Is this a perfect square? Yes, this is a perfect square because 20 square is 400. Okay. Okay. Now let us have these decimal numbers. Okay, again, tingnan natin kung tama yung sagot ninyo. Number 1, is this a perfect square? So if you will notice, 16 is a perfect square. Puro may 1,6 tayo dito, no? 1,6, 1,6, ano? Let's say, ignore muna natin si number 5. Kailan natin masasabi na ang decimal number ay perfect square? Muna sa lahat, tingnan nyo yung non-zero digit. If the non-zero digit is perfect square or not. 16. So, that is perfect square. So, pwedeng perfect square si number 1. Okay? So, ano ba dito yung mga perfect squares? So, ito yon. These are the perfect square. So, we have number 1, number 4. Okay, so 0.0016 and number 5. Okay, so we have the list or the set of perfect square. We have 0.16, 0.0016, and 0.004. These are 0.4. Yan, mga perfect square daw yan. Okay? So, yung daw not perfect square ay 1.6, 0.016. So, yan, not perfect square. So, again, kailangan yung non-zero digit muna ay perfect square. So, pare-pareho naman siya perfect square, di ba? So, ayan, in this case, kailan siya perfect square, kailan siya hindi perfect square. So, notice that when we count the digit after the decimal point, we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ito naman ay 1, 1, 2, 3. Pwede pa yung maging, ayan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not perfect square din yan. Okay? So, correct. So, kapag ka ang digit after the decimal point, ang bilang ay 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on, or even number ang bilang, then, at perfect square yung non-zero digit natin, then perfect square siya. Kapag ka naman 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, yung bilang ng digit after the decimal point, maski perfect square yung non-zero digit, basta yung decimal places ay hindi even. Okay? 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, that is not a perfect squares. Okay, sige. Tingnan natin to. Say 0.00025. Perfect square or not? Okay, 25 is perfect square. So, bilangin natin yung digit after the decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, this is not a perfect square. Okay? So, para maging perfect square siya, then, add ka pa ng isang 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, perfect square na siya. Okay? Okay, halimbawa, meron tayong 0.0005. Yan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, apat yan. Kaya lang, first and foremost, itong 5, yung non-zero digit, ay hindi na siya perfect square. Therefore, not a perfect square ito. Kasi yung non-zero digit mismo natin ay hindi na siya perfect square. Remember, ang perfect square natin, 1, 4, 9, and so on. Okay? So, walang 5. Therefore, hindi siya perfect square. So, first and foremost, kailangan yung ating non-zero digit ay perfect square. Then, saka palang bilangin kung even ba yung ating digit after the decimal point. Okay? So, let's say we have 144. Let's say we have 1.44. Perfect square or not? 144 is perfect square because 12 square is 144. So, tingnan natin yung decimal point. Yung bilang, yung digit after the decimal point. 1, 2. So, the perfect square siya. So, 1.2 times 1.2. Yan. Kasi that is 144, then 1, 2, 1, 2. Yun. 1, 4, 4. So, that is, kung mangyari nga ang decimal point natin ay napunta rito, not perfect square na yan. Kasi, after the decimal point, we only have one digit. Therefore, it is not a perfect square. Okay? So, that's it. Sa fraction naman, To determine whether the number is perfect square or not, okay, halimbawa ito, ayan. Kailangan yung numerator at denominator ay parehong perfect square. For example, number 1, 1 and 4. Parehong perfect square yan. Therefore, si 1/4 ay perfect square. 16/100, perfect square yan. Si 9/25, perfect square yan. Ano yung hindi perfect square? Si number 3, si 9/2. Si 9 ay perfect square, pero si 2 ay hindi. So, hindi yan perfect square. Si 5/8. So, hindi na yung perfect square. Kasi si 5 at si 8 ay parehong hindi perfect squares. So, kailangan again, para maging perfect square ang fraction, kailangan perfect square yung numerator at yung denominator. Both. Okay? Okay, so I hope nakuha kung kailan perfect square yung number or not. Now, let us have the square root of a number. Square root of a number. The radical sign is the symbol of square root. Thus, square root of 4 is read as the square root of 4. So, that's the symbol of square root, the radical sign. Finding the square root of a number. Square root of 144. So how to find the square root of a number? Just ask yourself what number, when you squared, the answer is the number inside the radical sign. So these are the number inside the radical sign. Okay, so is there a number when you square, the answer is 144? Correct, that is 12. Okay, so the opposite of squaring a number is taking the square root. Therefore, if 12 square is 144, then square root of 144 is 12. For example, if 4 square is 16, then square root of 16 is 4. If 10 square is 100, then square root of 100 is 10. So what is the square root of 36? Correct, 6. Square root of 81. Correct, 9. Square root of 9/4. Okay, so take the square root of 9 and square root of 4. So that is 3/2. Again, to get the square root of a number, you think of a number. When you square, the answer is the number under the radical sign. And these are the list of perfect squares, okay, which has square root, which is an integer. Ayan, perfect square natin. Integer yung kanyang square root. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 121 is 11. And the opposite of squaring a number is taking its square root. Okay. That's why square root of 49 is 7. Square root of 0.25 is 0.5. Okay. Now, let us have this question. Is there another solution to these problems? Is there other number when you square, the answer is 144? Say number 1 muna. Is there another number aside from 12? When you square, the answer is 144? Yes, there is. Negative 12. Since square of negative 12 is also 144. Remember yung kanina? Yung square ni 3 ay 9. Square ni negative 3 ay 9 din. Ayan. Okay? Because square root of 9 is positive and negative 3. Not just positive 3, but also negative 3. So therefore, we have square root of 144, positive 12, and negative 12. Now, for number 2, negative 7 and 7. Number 3, 0.5 and negative 0.5. And number 4, 3 halves and negative 3 halves. Remember, square root of a number is positive and negative. We have positive root and negative roots. So the positive root is what we call the principal roots. Okay. And the negative roots is what we call the negative, uh, we have here the negative roots. Mga negative ang roots. Okay. Now, kailan natin malalaman kung positive root ang hinahanap, si principal root ang hinahanap, or si negative square root ang hinahanap? Okay. Notice, pagka meron tayong negative before the radical sign, then what is asked is the negative root. The negative square root of 49 is negative 7. Okay? So, kung wala naman, understood, positive root ang hinahanap o si principal root ang hinahanap. Okay? Clear po ba yun? Okay. So, ngayon, what is the square root of negative 49? So, magkaiba ba si square root of negative 49 kay negative square root of 49? Yes, magkaiba yan. Okay. So, here, again, pinapahanap sa atin ay yung negative square root. So, we have here negative 7. Ito naman, square root of negative 49. Is there a number when you square, the answer is negative number? Diba, pag in-square natin, multiply it by itself, diba? It's either 7 times 7, negative 7 times negative 7, magkamukha yan. So, pagka sagot yan ay negative times negative is positive. Positive times positive is positive, lagi positive. So, hindi magne-negative. Kaya ito ay there is no real solution for this. No real solution. Kasi, ang solution nito ay not real. Pag sinabi natin not real numbers, imaginary numbers. Ngayon, pag sinabi natin imaginary numbers, yun yung mga numbers na hindi nyo pa kilala. Yung mga numbers na kilala nyo na, yung number, counting number, integers, fraction, decimals, kahit anong klaseng decimals yan, those are real numbers. Okay? So, itong not real numbers na ito, pag-aaralan nyo yan in higher. Okay? So, huwag muna natin siyang i-discuss. Basta, not real number ang sagot doon kapag ka ang ating number inside the radical sign is a negative number. Okay? So, again, ito may sagot. Ayan, negative 7. Pero ito ay, ang sagot ay not real number. Okay? So, pagka bumamit kayo ng calculator dyan, it will give you error. Sige, tingnan nga muna natin. Square root of negative. Let's say 4. Square root of negative 4. Square root of invalid input. Ayan. Sabihin, not real ang sagot. Okay? So, now try this. Give yourself time to answer this. Okay, say you have now the answer. Number 1, what is asked is the negative root. So the answer is correct. Negative 8. So again, number 1, negative 8. Okay, what about number 2? Square root of 196. So there is no sign. Ibig sabihin, principal root ang hinahanap. That is 14. Okay, number 3. Okay, so square root of 81 is 9. Okay, ilan yung decimal point ilan yung digit after the decimal point? 1, 2. Oh, divide nyo lang yung sa 2. So that is 1. Okay, 1. Ano lang yan? 0.9. Okay? Wow, pinapahanap sa inyo yung number 4. Number 4, negative yan, 0 point, ilan yun? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Square root of this, square root of 25 is 5. So, ilan yung decimal point? Digit after the decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. O, kalahatiin nyo yun. 1, 2, 3. Ayan. So, yun yung sagot yan. Okay? 3 digit after the decimal point. Okay? Next, we have square root of 49 over 4. Square root of 49 over square root of 4. Yan. Pwede nyo isulat yan na ganyan. Square root of 49 over square root of 4, where square root of 49 is 7, square root of 4 is 2. So that is 7 over 2. Okay? Again, kung meron tayong square root of 16 over 25, pwede mo yung isulat as square root of 16 over square root of 25, and that is 4 over 5. Okay? Now, what about this? Number 1, negative square root of 529. Medyo malaki-laki na to. Okay? So, paano mo, dahil malaki-laki na to, big numbers na to, so, bigyan ko kayo ng technique kung paano kuhanin ng square root ng medyo malaking numbers. Okay? Hatiin nyo siya sa by 2 from right. Okay? So, we have 9, 2, ayan, saka 5. So, ayan yan. 529. Okay? 5 saka 29. So, ngayon, dahil hatiin nyo na sa dalawa siya, napin niyo yung perfect square na pinakamalapit sa 5. So, we have perfect square natin. Okay. Hindi pala naka-project yung aking screen. Okay. Ulitin natin. So, we have square root of 529. Hatiin siya sa by 2, the dalawang digit from the right. So, we have 5 and 29. Now, yung 5, isipin ninyo yung perfect square na pinakamalapit sa 5. Ang perfect square natin, 1, 4, 9, and so on. So, pinakamalapit pero hindi lalaki. Okay? So, we have 4. Hindi pwede si 9 kasi greater than 9 siya. Okay? So, ibig sabihin nun si 4. Pinakamalapit pero hindi pwedeng humigit kay 5. So, that is 4. Now, what is the square root of 4? So, square root of 4 is 2. Okay? So, ibig sabihin nun, si square root of 529 is line of 2. Line of 2 siya. Okay. Bakit meron tayong dalawang options? Kasi, yung dulo natin ay 9. Okay, 9. So, ano yung number na pag in-square natin ay 9 or ang dulo ay 9? So, 9. Ito yon 9. So, that is, square root of 9 is 3. Okay, 3. Ano pa? 49. Diba? Square root ni 49 ay 7. Okay, 7. So, ito yung ating 2 possible answers. Either 23 or 27. Ano dito yung pag in-square mo, ang sagot ay 529. Okay? So, 23 times 23, we have 6, then we have 69 or 49. 6, then 4. So, we have 9, 12, yun. 529. So, ayan na. Okay, so ang sagot natin ay si 23. Dahil may negative ito, ang sagot natin ay negative 23. Again, square root of negative square root of 529 is negative 23. Okay. So next number we have square root of 2116. 2116 square. Okay. Tingnan natin siya by 2 from right. Okay. Ayan. Si 21 at saka si 16. So, 21. Perfect square na pinakamalapit kay 21 pero hindi pwedeng lumaki kay 21. Ano yun? We have 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, and so on. Yan ang ating mga perfect square. So, ito, 16. Kasi ito, higit na to kay 21. So, ano yung square root ng 16? 4. So, ibig sabihin, line of 4 yung ating number ng square ay 2,116. Okay. Now, 6. Tingnan nyo yung last digit. 6. Ano yung mga perfect square na nagtatapos sa 6? Ito, 16. Ano yung 16 at saka, ano pa? 36. Diba? O, kunin nyo yung square root nito. 4 and 6. O, alin lang sa dalawa yung number na hinahanap natin. Okay? So, let's say 44. Try natin. 44, 16, 17. So, ganun din yan. Okay? So, we have okay. So, hindi ito. So, definitely, ito na, si 46. Okay. 46. 46. We have 36. Ayun. So, 46 times 46 is 2,116. So, ang answer natin ay hindi si 44, kung hindi si 46. So, ganun lang yan kapag medyo malaki na. Okay? So, para hindi nyo kailangan mag-memorize ng mag-memorize. Okay. So, itong big number na to, sige, try nyo nga kung ano yung square root niya. Okay. Again, hatiin sa by 2 from right to left. Ayun. So, we have 1, 4, 8, 84. So, yun. Sabihin nun, 3 digits yung ating number ng square ay 14,884. So, 1. Perfect square na malapit sa 1 or equal to 1. Pero hindi pwedeng humigit kay 1. Siyempre, si 1 na yan. So, ibig sabihin, line of 1, 100 plus. Yung last, 4. 3 digits yung hinahanap natin, 4. Ano yung perfect square na nagtatapos sa 4? We have 4 and 64. Okay, ano ang square root ni 4? 2. Square root ni 64? 8. Ayan na. Ito yung ating first digit. Ito yung ating last digit. Paano yung middle? Tingnan nyo yung una. Ito, yung 48. Sa 48, if you have 48, yung una lang, yung second digit. 1, 2. Ayan. 4. Ano yung square root ni 4? Or, again, we have 4 and 64. Square root ni 4 ay square root ni 4 ay 2. Ayan na. 2. Hindi na kasama sa 64 dito. Ito lang. Square root ni 4. 2. So, either of these 2, 122 or 128. So, when you multiply 122 to itself, the answer is, ano? So, when you square this, the answer is 14,804. So, yun na. Yung sagot natin. 14,000. So that the answer is 122. Okay, what about this? Square root of 5. Square root of 21. Square root of negative 75. Okay? So, we have square root of 5. Perfect square natin, ulit-ulitin natin, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, and so on. Okay. So, square root of 5. 5 is not a perfect square. Okay. So, since 5 is not a perfect square, we cannot get the exact value of 5. Okay, we cannot get the exact value of 5. Same with 21. This is not a perfect square. 75 is not a perfect square. So, for this problem, since we cannot get the exact value, we can only approximate. So, how to approximate the value of not perfect square number? Okay, the square root of a non-perfect square number is irrational number. Okay, to estimate the square root of a non-perfect square number, find the two consecutive integers between which the irrational number lies. Again, the value of these numbers are irrational. So to estimate, we can find two consecutive integers. Okay, so let's discuss how to find the two consecutive integers. 5. Tingnan nyo lang yung nasa loob ng radical sign natin. 5. So, nasa kaya dito si 5? Okay? So, 5, nandito siya in between 4 and 9. Okay? So, square root of 5 is between square root of 4 and square root of 9. Okay? So, yung mas maliit sa kanya na perfect square at saka yung mas malaki sa kanya na perfect square, yung maliit at mas malaki sa kanya kay 5 na perfect square, yung pinakamalapit na mas maliit at mas malaki. Okay. So, this is not yet the final answer kasi sabi nyo doon, consecutive integers. Okay? Pag ang sagot nyo ay 4 and 9, eh hindi naman yan consecutive. Pero, pag kinuha natin yung square root niyan, ito ay 2 at ito ay 3. Yan. Consecutive na yan. 2 and 3. Yan yung answer natin. Sabihin nun, ito yung nahanap nating 2 consecutive integers. Pero ang ibig sabihin nito is yung value ni square root ni 5 ay sa pagitan ni 2 at 3. Greater than 2 but less than 3. Okay? So, remember, ang square root ni 4 ay 2, square root ni 9 ay 3. So, yung square root ni 5 ay sa pagitan lang ni 2 at ni 3. Sige. Using the calculator, tingnan natin kung ano yung real value ni square root ni 5. Square root of 5 5. Ayan. Square root of 5. So, ayan, 2.232340, etc. So, ayan, no? Irrational numbers yan kasi non-repeating, non-terminating. Non-terminating and non-repeating, kaya siya irrational. So, 2.236. So, ibig sabihin nun, 2.20, approximately 2.2 or 2.24 between 2 and 3. So 2.24. Okay, so that's the value of square root of 5 between 2 and 3. The approximate. Okay, so square root of 21. Square root of 21, the value of square root of 21 is between, ano yung mas maliit sa kanyang perfect square? Si 16. Mas malaki sa kanya si 25. Okay. So, therefore, the value of square root of 21 is greater than 4 but less than 5, or between 4 and 5. Okay. Again, kuhanin nga natin si square root of 21. Square root of 21, we have, okay, yun. Square root of 21. Ayan. 4.5823. Ayan. Irrational yan kasi non-terminating and non-repeating. So approximately to the hundredths place, that is 4.58. Okay, that is between 4 and 5. Greater than 4 but less than 5. 4.50. Paano naman yung negative square root of 75? So, negative number naman ito, no? So, si 75 ay square root of 75, yung square root of 75, yung positive muna. So, that is between, okay, 64 and 81. 8 and 9. Okay? So, that is between 8 and 9. So, square root of 75, kung kukuhanin natin si square root of 75 ay 8.66. So, tama ito. Square root of 75 is 8.66. Kaya lang negative siya. So, paano yun? So, kailangan kasi greater than, si square root of 75 daw is greater than, kung kukuhanin natin kung negative ito, edi magiging, negative 8.66. So, ibig sabihin nun, si negative 8.66 ay greater than, negative 9 but less than negative 8. Okay? Greater than negative 9 but less than negative 8. Okay? So, pagbabalik na rin nila. So, the value is negative 8.66, greater than negative 9 but less than negative 8. Remember, sa number line, we have here negative 9, negative 8. So, nandito si negative 0.80. Ano na nga yun? 88.66. Okay? So, that's how to approximate the value of a non-perfect square number. Just think of two consecutive integers between which the square root of a number lie. Again, Again, the square root of these numbers is irrational, or this number is irrational. Identify whether each number is rational or irrational. If rational, determine its exact value. If irrational number, approximate its value by finding two consecutive integers between which the value of a number lies. Okay? So what about square root of 11? Okay, that is irrational. That is between 3 and 4. Okay, what about square root of 6.25? That is rational. That is, the exact value is 2.5. So what's the next number? Square root of 16/25, rational, 4/5. And the next number, we have negative square root of 50, that is irrational, that is between negative 8 and negative 7. So, itong 3 and 4 na to, yung mga irrational na to, saka negative 8, negative 7 na to, hindi ito yung exact value niya. Ibig sabihin kasi sa direction natin, find two consecutive integers between which the value of the number lies. Ibig sabihin nito, square root of 11 is between 3 and 4. Hindi ang answer ay si 3 and 4. Hindi. So, we're just following the direction. Approximate its value by finding the two consecutive integers. So, yun. Okay? But the value lies between negative 8 and negative 7. The value of square root of 11 lies between 3 and 4. Okay? Okay, meron pa pala isa. Okay, so square root of 1024 is rational, and that is 30.